So Bosphorus Canal was really amazing, and the people Turkish traditional dance. Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to my subscriber lesson about IELTS exam. If you're watching for the first time, thank you very much for stopping by. But if you are a recurrent viewer or watcher, thanks for joining again. You may be aware that this is the first class of this season, I should say, from this month, August. Hello, Amit Tanch, welcome. Thank you very much for the subscription.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Where are you from?
I'm from India, sir.
Very good. And this is a very silly question, though. Why did you subscribe to my lesson?
Yes, sir. I'm preparing for Ielts now for coming in foreign country for my study.
Which country?
I'm in Canada or in US, which I'm not getting visa right now.
All right. And what kind of visa are you after?
Sir,
What kind of visa are you after?
student visa, studying student visa.
And what do you like to study?
I'm graduating BTech. I'm on to do.
Sorry, what was your previous education?
Right now. I'm in the 12th standard.
Okay, so you have to complete your 12 years education, and after that, you like to complete your undergraduation from there?
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. Great, best of luck. How long it might take to finish your 12 years education?
Yes, sir. What?
How long it might take for you to complete that 12 years education?
Only 6 months. In next year March, our paper will end.
So you're going to finish in March next year,
Yes,
2023.
yes. Yes, 2023.
Okay, best of luck.
Yes, yes. No, yeah.
So would you like to tell me a little bit more about you? Like, do you like sports?
No, no, I'm good in computer system in CS. In school, I am taken CS computer science and doing coding and all.
All right. I mean, Tash, your sound is a bit noisy. Is there any way you can bring your microphone closer to your mouth?
Yes, yes, sir.
Great. Thank you very much. So you don't like sports, but you're good at computing, programming, coding. Anything else?
Yes. And then time I have get time I'll play cricket and badminton in school. And in our school we are not getting time for playing anything. Only studying every time.
Okay, I got your point. So do you have any idea how the IELTS exams are?
I have seen a video in YouTube. It said that you have to go on first. You should fill the form and you should go on center. Its center on Lucknow. So I have to go there and give the exam.
Okay, I'll give you a little bit more information. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, one moment, please. Okay, so dear viewers, welcome once again to my IELTS lesson. It's Saturday morning in the UK, and our local time is 2 past 7 a.m. We are 1 hour ahead of GMT, which is Greenwich Mean Time. And
Yes.
through these classes, I discuss, analyze, show you the guidelines how being a candidate you can get your required score. This
Yes.
success story of my students are most of the students got 8.5 in IELTS exam,
Yes.
and they've got their visas and they've arrived to their destination countries.
Yes.
Okay, and
We are not getting the visa of US because it's very difficult to get.
Amin Taj, please keep your microphone close to your mouth. When it's
Yes, yes,
moving,
yes,
I can't
yes,
hear you clearly.
yes, yes.
Say again, what have you said now, please?
That I'm saying is that I'm not anyone in means my neighbors and all my friends never got a visa of US.
What kind of visa your neighbor got?
Studying visa
Student visa.
for studying abroad and all.
Okay.
So please give me some tips for that. Can I got visa of that country?
Certainly. That's why I've asked you what's your plan. So if you want to study in Canada an undergraduate level
For US also.
or USA, you need few
Yes.
things. Number one, you
Uh,
must have good result in your last education, whether it's a 12 years education or
yes, means in class 11, 12, and 10th, no?
no, only the 12th one. They wouldn't
Yes,
consider 10, 11th. It doesn't matter.
yes.
Okay, and number two, you must have an English language certificate like IELTS or TOEFL. TOEFL is also accepted in the United States of America, but
Yes.
IELTS is accepted all over the world, all the English speaking countries.
Yes. No, IELTS form was also very costly. It's 15,000 of one paper.
I'm sorry, Amintash, your voice is breaking. Say again.
That IELTS form was very costly. It was 15 to 16,000.
In your local currency.
Yes, yes. In local currency, 15 to 16,000 rupees it takes.
Okay, all right. Okay, let me give you all the briefing, then you can ask my question again. Yeah? Hi, Navi,
Yes.
welcome. Navi, I have tried to add you, but I don't know the reason why you can't join. You need to restart it, Navi. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, so IELTS exam takes place every month, which means that you can sit.
Yes. It says that
Uh,
in
I'm in
every
touch.
month 4 days.
I'm in touch. When I'm
Yes.
speaking, please do not interrupt. Let me finish my speaking, then you can speak.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Novi, have you joined already? I'm
What?
asking, I'm asking the other user. There is another
Okay.
person. Okay, so if you have got any questions, please write in a notebook and wait until I finish my conversation. And that is the customary, I'm in touch. When somebody speaks, we do not interrupt.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because it is an international platform, and when you'll be starting to Western countries, you have to wait the other person to finish the conversation. You can't just interrupt in the middle of talking like the way you do in your country. Please don't do that, okay?
Okay, sir.
All right. As I was saying, in order to study in the United States of America or Canada or any other English speaking countries like Australia, New Zealand, UK, and some European countries, you must have good result. Number one. Number two, you must have good result in English speaking test. Number three, you must have enough money. On an average, if you're studying undergraduate level in the United States, the tuition fee, only tuition fee is in between 10 to 15,000 US dollars. There are other expenses like accommodation cost, travel, food, book, etc. For the international students, most of the cases, they get scholarship and stipend depending on your result of IELTS exam, TOEFL, or the previous academic result. Okay, then you apply to the university or college where you like to study. They send you from the USA I-20 a letter or a paper or a document that will help you to apply for your student visa to the local American embassy in your country. It takes minimum 3 to 6 months to process the visa. They do lots of checking, and one of the checking is security checking. Okay, now have you got any question, Amintash? up to now?
No, sir, I have listened that what you have said, and now I'm going to prepare it.
Bring your microphone close to your mouth, please. I'm saying it again and again.
I'm saying I have no questions, sir. Only I want to only study for Ielts and preparation and my class 12.
Okay, do you read English books?
Yes, sir. I'm not getting that time. I have taken PCM physics, chemistry, math. For that. I am not getting time to study. Only one day before exam, I used to study English.
Okay, that shouldn't be enough to get your record score, unfortunately. You have to study well, okay, I'm in touch because
Now from today, I will study.
because IELTS exam is not only an English exam, also the exam through which you will know the rubrics, we call it. Rubrics mean those techniques and information which are needed for you to get the required score. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So as I said, there are two types of IELTS exam. One of this IELTS academic, which is needed for your studies. Another is IELTS general, which are needed for your immigration to the English-speaking countries. And academic test is more difficult than the general test. In your case, you need to sit for the IELTS academic. And there is no pass or fail marks, but there is a banding score from 1 to 9. 9 is the highest banding score, and whereas 1 is the lowest banding score. For undergraduate studies, most of the universities require in between 5 to 5.5 in academic. For the graduate studies, it is 6 to 6.5. For the postgraduate, doctorate, scholarship, most of the times they ask 7 to 7.5. And as I said, every month you can sit for the exam. The exam fee is around £200 in
Our currency is 15,000, 14,500.
14,500, local currency. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So who can sit for the exam? Anyone can sit for the exam who is 18 years old or above. And how long is the valid of the IELTS certificate? It is 2 years from the date of your exam. As I said, there is no pass or fail marks. It is the banding score that represents your level of English. You can register for the IELTS exam by contacting local, British Council, Cambridge Exam Center. Okay. And the fee, as I've said, in between 175 to 195. Okay, and IELTS is offered from more than 198 territories and countries around the world. The test has 4 sections: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. If you have got any question, always say, excuse me, I've got a question, then ask me, please. I'm in touch, okay?
Yes, I'm asking that I'm not 18-year-old right now. So now this time I can't apply for that.
How old are you at the moment?
Right now means in June next year, June in 2023, I'll get 18 years.
Okay, so you have to wait until you arrive 18 years age.
Yes.
Okay, so there are also the IELTS exam is offered in 2 ways. One of them is computer-based test, we call it CVT. Another one is paper-based test, we call it PVT. Okay, so the
Yes.
the speaking and listening tests are the same in both modules, but they are different in reading and writing test in academic and general. Yeah, any other question up to now?
No, sir.
Okay, so what is in the exam? Paper content time. In listening test, there would be 40 questions and you will get approximately 30 minutes and you will get extra 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Where is gone? Excuse me. Okay. So, Amintaj, please join again. Amintaj, are you still there? So, Novi, you need to restart your app to join here. I tried to add you. It says I'm not able to add you. So, if you restart your app, then I can bring you here. Then you can talk to me. Dear viewers, this is a time-controlled lesson. It starts on time and then finishes on time, and we've got countdown systems. So it starts from 59 minutes 59 seconds, then it goes down every second, and when it comes to 0, the class shuts down automatically. However, all my classes are recorded and saved in my Hallo account, as well as in my Facebook account and YouTube channel. You can always watch it from there by being a subscriber of my uh, YouTube channel, or by connecting with me in my Facebook. You must restart your app. Yes. I can't hear you because you're not on my hop on section. You need to be on my hop on section if you want to talk. So log out from the Hallo and rejoin, then I'll be able to bring you. Okay. If there are students, whether the student join me or not, I have to conduct the lesson. That is the policy of the Hallo. But if there is no student in my class, I mean to subscribe to my lesson, and then it depends on the teacher's discretion whether the teacher conducts the lesson or not. But as long as there is one student, the teacher must conduct the lesson, and that's the rule here. So dear viewers, welcome once again. Our local time is 7:17 a.m. Saturday morning. It's a hot, bright, sunshine morning in the UK, and you're watching this live stream about IELTS exam. If you're interested to join, if you see the link, you need to click on it to subscribe to it, and possibly you might be eligible to get 2 free lessons. From all of my classes, I'm offering 2 free lessons on a trial basis, which means that you don't have to pay anything at all. If you're happy after these 2 lessons, then you can continue to be my subscriber. For these classes, it is $20 for a month. However, possibly I have to change it to 16. Actually, I'm going to change it to 16. So don't worry. That is the base rate. Hello, Fahad, welcome. So it's $16 for a month. You will get 8 lessons in a month. Each lesson has 1 hour. This 1 hour is not enough for you. Okay. So in this 1 hour, I give you all the instructions, guidelines, and also related information so that you practice at your own time at home. Excuse me. So as I was saying, IELTS exam. Um, so in listening part, there are 40 questions and approximately 30 minutes. The audio clip would be just played once, and you have to answer on the answer sheet. Once you have finished your exam, then you'll be given extra 10 minutes where you have to transfer your answer. When you're finished the audio test, which is the listening part, then the reading test is the next one. And both of the IELTS academic and general reading test, they are a bit different. They're not same. So what happens in academic test, there are 3 big paragraphs. You will get 40 questions and you'll have 60 minutes. So there is no wrong, deduction of wrong marking or wrong answer. That is the amazing part of the IELTS exam. And after 60 minutes is over, then you go to the writing section. In writing, there are 2 tasks. Okay. Oh, I forgot to mention that in reading, in general, there will be 5 small paragraphs, and you have to answer from them. Same 40 questions, 60 minutes. And the next one is writing test. In writing part, there are 2 tasks. Task 1 for the academic is building up a the writing from the graph. It could be bar chart, pie chart, or any other graph. And the task 2 is like a qualitative or descriptive about an essay. And for the general test and writing task, the first part would be either writing a letter or an application. There would be a scenario, you have to just write it. So what are the other criteria? In task 1, generally you have to write minimum 150 words in 20 minutes, and both of the cases. In task 2, you have to write minimum 250 words, and I will be given 40 minutes. And now the question is that very often students ask, do the teachers count the words? Yes, they do. That is a mandatory requirement for you to complete the task. So make sure you count the words when you finish the exam. So if you're writing task 1 in 150 minutes, 150 words and 20 minutes, so literally you have to write 8 words in every 1 minute. For the task 2, 250 words in 40 minutes, so literally you have to write 7 words in every minute. And the last part is speaking, which is same for the academic and general. In speaking, there are three parts. Speaking task 1 is general conversation. Speaking at 2, which is we call cue card, because they'll be given a topic on the key card and you have to describe and discuss at least 2 minutes or more. And task 3 is related to the task 2, which is advanced one-to-one question by the examiner. So this is all about the basic information of IELTS exam. If you've got any more question, please do let me know. Novi, are you still there? So you both have subscribed to my lesson on a trial basis, which means that you're going to get 2 free lessons. One of them is today and another one is tomorrow morning. So so let's move on. It looks like you are not here. Okay. So for the IELTS exam, there are guidelines and books from the Cambridge University. It will be better for you if you buy it from there and study a little bit. And there are hundreds of websites which offer free test. We call it mock test or sample test. It will be much better if you just sit for any of these exams to find out how difficult the exam is or how comfortable the exam is, and you'll get to know the different types of questions patterns and also the time pressure. uh, Honestly speaking, as I said, IELTS exam is a time controlled exam. It's the exam not only to know English as well as to know the rubrics. And the rubrics wouldn't be disclosed by normal teachers, but in my classes and lessons, I always share the rubrics how you can get the required score. Okay, so today I'll give you the tips for the speech. And most of the cases, speaking and writings need to be instructed and developed, because the listening part, you have to be good listener. You have to listen as many as videos possible, because it's based on British Standard English, which is RP accent. I'll suggest you to listen those sample videos from different websites as well as from YouTube's. It will help you develop your comprehensive activity and power so that you understand. Bear in mind that the more you listen, your flexibility and your confidence will grow more. And the reading part can be developed by yourself. You should be a good reader. Read as many books as possible. because there is no hard and fast rule or syllabus for the IELTS exam. They can ask the question from anywhere. Okay, and the speaking and writing, and for my regular and subscribed students, I've got a feature for them. If you write your topic, you can send me through the email, and I check it and I give you the feedback about your topic, like the quality, standard, vocab, grammar, mistakes, and other things. Those services are only for my subscribed students, not for the trial students. Okay, so for the speaking part, it's like a one-to-one interview, and you can always talk to me. You can ask me any question, and I can answer from there. So in speaking part, there are three parts. Part one, or sometimes it is called task one, and then task two, which is cue card, and task three, which is the advanced conversation between the examiner and the student. And the topic is generally related to the task two or the cue card. In part one or task one, you'll have 4 to 5 minutes. 4 to 5 minutes conversation with an IELTS examiner about yourself. The topics might include work, family, home life, personal interests. The most common question they ask in the part one is like, what's your name? Uh, Please bear in mind that when you're saying name in official interview or the test like this, you must mention your first name and last name. And last name is sometimes called surname or family name. And if you have got a nickname or a pet name, you can also include. And this is the first question. And the second question would be, why are you taking the test? And please bear in mind that when you're sitting for the speaking test, you must take your ID and your student registration number. They will check first before they let you in. And for your information, all these conversations are recorded in audio device as a proof that you have sat for the exam. And also happens very often. Many students are not satisfied with their scores, then they make an appeal. If an appeal is made within the 28 days of the exam, then the examiner sends that audio recorded part to the second examiner to get it checked. And if the mark becomes one or more point different, then they make the average and give you the an updated score. But that doesn't happen. That's very much unlikely to happen, that the score difference is more than one. So that's the reason they always record your conversation. Okay, so in part one, as I said, the other common questions are, one moment please. One moment, I'll just share with you some other information. Okay. So the next question they might ask you, where are you from? And there are some tips in IELTS speaking tasks in order to get good marks. I'm going to explain in a moment. So these are the common topics they do ask very often in IELTS exam. So the topic may be related to work, family, home life, and personal interests. Okay, and the rubrics are, so in speaking task or in speaking part, if you want to get good score, 4 features of speaking are assessed. Number one, hang on a second, fluency and coherence. You will get 25% marks of total 9, which is 2.25, and that's very much possible for a candidate to get 2.25. Number two is lexical resource. What does it mean? It means that uh, the different kinds of vocabs. It could be synonyms, it could be antonyms, it could be phrasal verbs, it could be dialect, or it could be any other accepted expressions. You'll get another 25% marks, which is 2.25 out of 9. And the third feature is grammatical range and accuracy, which means that when you're speaking, you must use the correct grammar and different kinds of grammar structures. And you'll get another 2.25 marks, which is 25%. And the last one is pronunciation. You'll get 25% marks. Please note that you don't have any marks for whether having an accent or not. You don't have any marks for whether you have got creativity, your body language. So, as you know, there are two types of pronunciation. One of the British English, another one is the American English. It doesn't matter which one you follow, but it will be uh, not all right to mix both of them in one answer. So if you're following the British English pronunciation, do not mix it up, which means that. And vice versa, if you're following the American English pronunciation, do not mix up with the British English pronunciation. As a learner or candidate, many of our students are not aware of it. And honestly speaking, they even don't know which one is British English and which one is American English. So through my classes, I highlight, analyze, and explain this information to those students so that they are aware of it. And for the fluency and coherence, which means that you shouldn't speak so fast or so loud or so slow, and you shouldn't stop for more than 5 seconds while you're having the conversation. And coherence means you are going to talk about only to the related topic, not any other topic. So these are the information for the speaking part. Now, are the criteria to get good score? Okay, tip number 1. Do not memorize any answers, which means that when you're answering to the IELTS exam, understanding the question is very important. If you understand the question, it will be much easier for you to answer it correctly. But unfortunately, I have taken hundreds of tests from different students, and many a time I've realized that they even don't understand what's the question about. Now, here is a tip for you. If you don't understand the question, you must always ask your examiner politely, and you know how to ask them. So, like, excuse me, I didn't quite get you, or could you please rephrase it, or could you please paraphrase it? All right, or could you please explain? ask in a polite way, then the examiner is definitely going to explain to you. And but if you keep asking similar questions, then it will be have an impact on your score. So you should be good listener. Remember that. If you want to be good speaker, you must be a good listener. You must understand the question. If you don't listen to the question carefully, if you don't understand it, then there will be serious impact in your answer. And most of the cases, you'll be ended up providing wrong answer. Okay. So while you're answering, do not memorize any answers from anywhere. Like there are many websites, there are sample answers, and there are many videos, YouTube videos, and you'll find the students are answering. Do not memorize any of them. So the IELTS test is speaking test is that your test. You have to prove yourself that you are competent enough to understand the question and answer them correctly. So that's the tip number one. Tip number two, don't use big and unfamiliar words. What it means, very often, students have the trend to memorize, as I said, or use big words, unfamiliar words, and which you don't know how to use them correctly. It will be better for you to use, different ranges of vocabs and different grammatical structures. Okay. Uh, as you might be aware that you have to pronounce them as well. So if you use something unusual, a big word, you might be ended up having mispronunciation. And this kind of mistakes may affect your band score. Okay. So tip number three, use a range of grammatical structure. What it means that you must know grammar if you want to get good score in IELTS exam. Though many teachers I've seen and many YouTube videos and some other places say that you don't need grammar, that's quite wrong thing. In written English, grammar is the one of the important measures that is assessed by the examiner. Picture it if you're studying in undergraduate level or graduate or postgraduate or doctoral or research student, you have to write assignments. You have to submit your thesis papers and it should be grammatically correct. If you don't do that, then you will not get good score. It will have impact. Okay, so that's the another tip. And use different kind of grammar structure. So you need to know the grammar and which grammar you should know. That is tense. If you know tense, then obviously you know 90% of English grammar. Because when you will study tense, you'll study the other grammar parts because tense is related to your punctuation, number, article, parts of speech, person, and also tense is related to sometimes narration, direct and indirect narration. So studying tense is one of the appropriate grammar features will help you develop your sense of grammar. Okay, we'll come back to pronunciation later. Let's finish. Don't worry about your accent. As I said, you won't get any marks in IELTS exam and most of the certified exams like CELTA or Delta or Canadian English Test, Cambridge English Test, Australian Pearson Test. There is no marking for having accent. So the examiner must assess your pronunciation. And most of the times, as I said, our students are not aware of the difference between the American English and the British English. And as you know, there are two types of IPA, British IPA for the British English and American IPA for the American English. And there is no IPA for Canadian English, Australian English, or New Zealand English. So we are not considering those English because those English derived from the British English and American English. So the next part is you can pause to think. You'll have maximum 10 seconds gap when you're answering, and there is no harm in taking a brief pause to think about what to say. We all do it to process questions. You can use phrases to give you time to think during the speaking test. Uh, you can say, "Oh, that's an interesting question," while you're thinking what you're going to answer. Or you might say, "I've never thought about that," but then you complete the sentence. Let me see. That's a good point. Wow, that seems to be a difficult question for me, but I'll try to answer it. Well, some people say that is the case. However, let me think about for a minute. So sometimes some teachers say that it's not good idea to use these sentences, but I believe that there is nothing wrong if you use them. It means that you're buying some time from the examiner to answer your question properly. Number Tip number 6: avoid using fillers or crutch words. So, what are fillers or crutch words? Very often, students try to repeat the same word when they're expressing, and these words are called crutch words or fillers. In IELTS exam and many times in normal conversation, if you keep doing that, it will be a bit annoying. Okay, the listeners might get bored or annoyed. If they keep listening. And the most common I've seen is that actually. This is the most common words people try to use again and again. Oh, actually, stop using that from today. If you want to be good speaker, if you want to get good scores in IELTS exam, bear in mind that you are not allowed to use repetitive words more than 2 times. You're not allowed to use the crutch words or the feelers more than 2 times. So the common feelers are like. That's it. Or you know what, Actually, I've said, hmm, yeah, well, etc. Okay, so tip number 7: extend your answers. Try to answer the examiner's questions in full. Do not be limited to yes or no. For example, what do you do if the question is that instead of saying I'm simply saying I'm a teacher, say like this: I'm an English teacher for the New York primary school for the last 5 years, through which I'm trying to teach my students. Look at this answer. Uh, it is better to use compound sentences if you want to get good score. This is the very important topic for being an IELTS candidate. And people do not use compound sentences when they're answering any question in IELTS exam as well as in other job interview. So I will suggest you today through this live stream compound sentence. Try to know how you can write compound sentence. It will be helpful and supportive for your writing part or writing task, as well as speaking, to get good scores in both of the cases. If you write compound sentences in the writing task, or if you use them in a talking, I can guarantee you will get much higher score than the other students. Okay, so it is better for you to know the grammar well. All right, so extend your answer. For example, if somebody says, or the examiner says, do you know how to play football? Now, if your answer is yes, I do know how to play football and I've been playing for the last 5 years. extend 2 to 3 sentences, even if the answer is no. Oh no, sorry, I don't know how to play football, but make it a positive. But in the future, I'll try to know it. You see, even the answer is no, still you're going to get a positive impact from your answer. Okay, so when your answers are short, this shows the examiner that you cannot talk detail about the topic. So it is better sometimes to give a little bit details of your answer. Bear in mind that for every question in IELTS exam, do not exceed 30 to 40 seconds answer, which means that, yeah, I know that you're going to elaborate your answer, but do not elaborate more than 40 seconds. So in 40 seconds, depending on the speed, fluency, and you can, create at least 2 to 5 sentences or maybe 3 sentences, depends on your speed. Do not speed up when you're talking. Do not speak faster. I've noticed that some people are speaking faster. Look, I'm speaking faster now. To give an example, what happens if you speak faster? If you speak faster, few things happen. Number one, you lose grammar. Number two, words are jumbled and mixed together, so you lose correct pronunciation. Number three, your duration of speaking shortens. So if you speak slowly on a medium space, then you have the opportunity to have good accent, good pronunciation. Sorry, not accent, good pronunciation. Use the correct grammar. Also, use the right answer. Okay, so that is the tip number 7. Tip number 8, smiling helps you pronunciation. Always smile. When you are, answering or talking to someone else, smiling can help calm your nerves, which in turn helps your pronunciation. Make sure to enunciate clearly, opening your mouth wide enough so that sounds came out clearly. When we smile, our mouth is bigger and the tone of our voice is more friendly. Using clear enunciation and tone will show the examiner that you can use a range of pronunciation features. Okay, so dear viewers, we're almost at the end of this live stream. Our next live stream starts in 10 minutes. 2 lessons are, continuous lessons, but that's a different group. If you want to join, once again, look at the pinned comment. You have to visit my profile from there, and you never know, you might be eligible to get 2 free lessons. And I had 2 students, I believe that they are busy, they didn't come, but yet as long as they are subscribed students, as a teacher I need to conduct my lessons. They might watch it later, but there are restrictions as well. As I said, from the Hallo, if your subscription is over, you can't watch it, because I have saved it in the YouTube channel. You can always visit my YouTube channel, subscribe to my channel and watch it from there. There are hundreds of lessons over there. You can always watch it freely. Okay, so next tip, don't speak in a monotone. Do you know what is monotone, guys? As you can see, mono is a Latin word which means same or one, and you know the meaning of tone, tone the way we talk. Alright, so monotone is kind of metallic tone when any mechanical instrument like robotic features talk. So as a human, so when you're speaking, you might have noticed that our tone goes up and downs, and we have got expression while you're talking because we're humans. So try to use the natural of speaking. Use the intonation, higher intonation, which is we call our tone goes up, or lower intonation when that goes down. So, and also sometimes our tone goes from down to up and vice versa, and up to down. So remember to try to talk naturally and articulately because you're in an exam, and it will be better for you to express your thoughts clearly with the normal tone or normal style. So don't worry about the accent once again. Accent is never ever assessed in the IELTS exam. It's a pronunciation, it is a tone. Okay? And as I say, don't speak in a monotone. Vary the stress and intonation to add emphasis. So, for example, the questions, where are you from? You can see we're stressing on the from. Then I'm from, then you're saying from where you are. Use your hands to gesture. Sometimes we use our hands and body language to explain. That's acceptable though, but there is a limit as well. Okay, the tip number 10, practice common IELTS topics. It is found that the people who practice more, they get better score than others who do not practice. It is really important for you because practice is like a magic word. Even if you don't know something, but if you keep practicing the same thing again and again until you become successful, you can overcome those problems. You can be successful. So manage sometimes every day, practice reading, writing, speaking, and listening. And from the Hallo, it is an amazing feature, Instamatch. As a student or user, you can always go through the Instamatch to find out another speaking partner. So what happens when I click on the Instamatch? It instantly matches the speaking partner randomly anywhere in the world. So when you're clicking on it, the people who are waiting to be connected, the call goes to them automatically, and if the person is okay, they will accept it. If not, they will decline it. Okay, and the second part is that we have got Insta class, where you have to pay, and for the 20 minutes you have to pay $4.99 for the first 20 minutes. So how to connect to the Insta class? When you go to the Insta class section, you'll see all the teachers who are available at the moment. You tap or touch on the teacher's photo to whom you would like to speak, then it will straight away connect to the teacher. If the teacher is free, the teacher will accept your call. If the teacher is busy, they can decline you. So you don't have anything to say in that case. So these are the two ways. If you are interested, book the private lesson with the teacher. Okay, 1-on-1. For most of the cases, the minimum rate is for the first 30 minutes, $7.5. For me, it is $8, and every week always books my lesson. Okay, especially on Saturdays and Sundays. There are some students who like to develop their speaking, their pronunciation, their quality. They always book my lessons. So choose a teacher, and if the when you're choosing a teacher, make sure you also consider these following options, like if the lesson is helpful for you or not, if the timing is matching for you or not. Because I've seen many students have subscribed to my lessons, but because of the timing, they can't join. So do not do something in out of whimsical nature. First think of it, then you subscribe to your teacher. Okay, so as I said, practice these common topics. These are the topics, And fluency, as I've said, accuracy, clarity, self-correction. Okay, we'll explain it tomorrow, guys. We don't have much time now. We've got less than a minute. So thank you very much, guys, for joining here. Once again, it's really my pleasure to see new people who are from different parts. And people who have subscribed to my lesson, please join me on time so that you don't miss any information. Okay, thank you very much, guys. I'll see you later. Take care.